Once upon a time.
I still think about ordinary moments more than the big ones. Not birthdays, not celebrations, not the nights we promised we would remember forever. Just ordinary moments. The kind that seem so small while they're happening. A goodbye at the door, a delayed reply, a voice calling your name from another room. And maybe that's the cruelest thing about life. The last time almost never feels like the last time. Have you ever experienced that? Have you ever replayed a memory in your head over and over again, just because you didn't know it would be the final one? I have. And if I'm honest, there are still days when I sit quietly and wonder, if I had known, would I have done something differently? Would I have stayed longer? Would I have listened more carefully? Would I have hugged them tighter? I remember one evening so clearly. Nothing special happened. That's what hurts the most. There was no dramatic music, no heavy goodbye, no feeling that life was about to change. Just a normal conversation, a normal laugh, a normal see you later. And somehow, life quietly closed a door after that moment without telling me. I think a lot of us believe endings arrive loudly. We think there will be signs, warnings, a final speech. But most endings are silent. Sometimes people leave in the middle of ordinary days, and sometimes they don't even leave physically at first. Sometimes they slowly disappear from conversations, from routines, from the future you imagined with them. Until one day you realize you haven't heard their voice in months. And somehow the silence becomes real. There are messages I still cannot delete, not because I read them often, but because deleting them feels too much like admitting that chapter of my life is truly over. Maybe you understand that feeling too. Maybe you also keep old photos you never look at. Maybe there's someone whose name still crosses your mind randomly at 2 a.m. Maybe you also revisit moments that meant nothing back then, but mean everything now. You know what's strange? We rarely notice happiness while we're inside it. We notice it later, after it becomes memory, after the room changes, after the people change, after we change. That's when we finally understand how beautiful certain moments actually were. Too late. I used to think pain only came from losing people. But sometimes pain comes from realizing time moved faster than you expected. One day you're saying, we still have time. And then suddenly, years have passed. The cafe you used to visit is gone. The conversations stopped. Everyone became busy, older, distant. And the version of life you thought would always exist quietly disappeared. Maybe growing up is learning that life never announces its endings. Your childhood ends one random afternoon. One day your parents pick you up for the last time. One day your friends all gather together for the last time. One day someone says, "Talk to you tomorrow," and they never do. Not because they wanted to hurt you. Sometimes life simply moves people into different stories. And maybe that's why certain memories hurt so deeply, because there was no closure, no final sentence,
No moment where the screen faded to black and someone whispered, "This is the end." Life is rarely that kind. Most of the time, it just keeps moving. And you only understand what happened after the moment is already gone. So lately, I've been trying to live differently, a little slower, a little more present. I try not to rush through conversations anymore. I try to pay attention when people laugh. I try to stay a few extra seconds before leaving. Because the truth is, we never really know. We never know which hug becomes a memory, which car ride becomes the last one, which ordinary evening becomes something we would give anything to experience one more time. And maybe that thought sounds sad at first, but honestly, I think it makes life more beautiful. Because if moments are temporary, then maybe they deserve more of us while they're here. Maybe people deserve to be loved out loud. Maybe we should say the things we postpone. Maybe we should stop assuming there will always be another chance. So whoever you're thinking about right now, I hope you hold them a little closer. I hope you answer the call. I hope you stay a little longer at the table tonight. And most importantly, I hope you don't wait until something becomes a memory to realize it mattered. Because one day, without warning, without music, without preparation, there will be a last time. And we usually don't know it until it's already gone.